What's up, you slimy assholes? I'm coming in today to rant a little bit because I'm in the middle of a process that's not really going my way. So I'm working on an EP right now for my project, my metal project, Kymikra. And I released an EP like a couple years ago. 23, 24, can't fucking remember. I would think it was 24. There's the cover art right there on the wall. It's flaking off a little bit. But I was proud of that EP. I thought it was a good one. I've had new material for so long, sitting around waiting to be polished, waiting to be finished, and I did so with a lot of work. And my dog is showing you his butthole here and his little balls. So you know, rejoice at that. But I was very proud of the material, and I still am proud and pleased with the material. But the problem is that I got a new computer because my old one was fucking almost breaking down because it was lagging and terrible and it's so old. Finally worked up enough money to buy a new computer after all the expenses from this guy. It all became manageable. Got a new computer. Now, when I reopen the projects on my new computer, because the version of the VSTs I was using on my old computer, the versions were so old that when I open the new versions I just downloaded on this computer, they sound different. And it would be fine if it was any other instrument than the guitars, but the guitar sound is so important for the whole thing working together that now, because the guitar sounds weird and worse, and I'm not used to working in this version of the plugin, I feel like I'm back to fucking square one and I'm frustrated. I can't I just can't get it to fruition in the way that I want it. I had some demos that sounded absolutely fabulous, in my opinion. I mean, it's not like some mind blowing, incredible, groundbreaking shit. I'm working by myself throughout the whole process, recording, mixing, mastering, all that stuff. I'm doing it at home in my home studio, right here in this room that is not sound treated, which is my own doing. I'm just lazy. But that's the way I prefer to do it because that's the way that I have been doing it, and I know that I can produce results that are good, especially and good enough, and also I believe above that. And I'm very pleased with them. And I have my own sound, and I have my own process, and I know that I am making strides in the right direction and making huge improvements compared to what I used to do. And the mixes on this Scum Musk EP, they're really out of date compared to what I'm doing right now. It's the songwriting's leveled up, the mixes have leveled up, everything just leveled up. But it's so frustrating to be working so hard and then you switch computers and then suddenly it sounds different and you're working from a different point. And yes, it can be a blessing as well. There was one song on the old computer that now I loaded up here, and I kind of started working from scratch again on the guitars, and they sound a lot better and more full and like clearer, and the whole mix kind of benefited from that process. But with this song, it's something about the guitars, the way they recorded, the tone is just not really that good from the beginning, and somehow the old IRs that I was using, they kind of saved it somehow. They made it sound okay, but now that I'm working with this, it just does not do the job in the same way. They sound round and weird, and it's like I'm not really into it, bro. It's really frustrating to work from that point where you feel like you're not going forwards anymore. You're kind of backtracking. I mean, or to be set back on a project that depends on only your own energy to come to fruition. That is frustrating as all fuck because I'm balancing other hobbies, taking care of the dog, spending time with my partner, sleeping, working, exercising, maintaining social bonds, which is not happening. I'm a bit of a loner, to be honest, not by choice, just a socially kind of awkward guy. Well, not socially awkward, but I'm very bad at reaching out to people. And frankly, a lot of the time, I don't want to reach out to people. I kind of thrive on my own. But then you reach a point where you've been on your own for so long, mainly that, and I see basically only my partner and my family, some close friends here and there sparsely. But you enter this comfort zone where you don't really want to do extra shit like go out. I'd rather stay home and try to work on music or my art here and there than to maintain social bonds, which is not very good for my mental health. I've noticed. I mean, for anyone's mental health, if you sit in your room alone, um, you want to be doing something productive, and when the productive thing is not really working out, and you feel like you're kind of in a rut, stuck working on the same shit for so long, you go a little bit crazy. Like being a solo musician working from a home studio is really really rewarding once the end product you get the end product sounding about as you want it as to sound, when you're almost there. That's super super satisfying, and especially like writing and you have an idea, and the way I work, I can get an idea out very quickly, and because I have no one else to screen what I'm doing, I can just decide that's what I want, and then that is what it is. And I know that it according to my vision, it's going to be really cool. And I know that other people will also find it cool eventually when I get some kind of recognition. Honestly, obviously, that's not why I'm doing this to get recognition, but I know that it's going to click for people and they're going to see the vision. But it's like working alone, you only have yourself to blame when things don't really pan out, and you wanna like work consistently and work towards your goal consistently, but sometimes it's just not. You don't have the energy, and then you're postponing things, and then re-interacting with the work, especially in a case like this where I've got a new computer, I've got the nature of the process has changed in a way that I don't like, and it's like becoming worse and harder to work with because of this like guitar problem I'm having, this technical problem. The workflow changes, the vision is like compromised, and I have one song that's like, oh, that's okay mix wise. I need to, and one of the songs is not even finished. I haven't even recorded all of it. There's not a lot left. There's just some like vocal stuff, but I have three more songs aside from this one I'm working on now, which is kind of going in an okay direction. Maybe it's like not really sounding that great, and it's sounding worse than the on the old PC. That I have to do, from scratch with the guitar tones to make them sound okay, make them sound usable. Because, and you might be saying, well, if you had demos from the old PC that were okay, why not just use them? Well, the problem is they weren't finished. And when I reopen them on my new computer, they sound different. And so, if I want to finish them and bring them to fruition in the way that I want to make everything perfect, mixed, balanced wise, then I can't. I can't just use the old demos. I need to rework them through this, and that's pissing me off a little bit. There's also some personal stuff going on where I'm suffering very heavily from ambivalence. I'm not entirely sure what that term encapsulates in a clinical sense. I just know that my life is kind of fluctuating right now between, oh, this is great and I'm loving where this is going and now I feel inspired, into, oh, this is despair and I fucking hate where I am in life, and then I go back up to this place where I'm like, oh, but this is kind of fucking cool, and then it's going back down. And I wish there would be like a stable, some like right here in the middle where I go a little bit up and then a little bit down, but I'm kind of stable right now. Especially with the summer rolling in and spring rolling in, there's this immense high you get from witnessing all the flowers blooming and everything is like kind of rising out of the frozen ground, and you feel it. You kind of stretch your arms out with it. You're like, you kind of can feel it around you, the energy around you, spring just coming out of the ground, and something feels, a part of you feels a little bit reborn. At least that's how I feel. I feel like refreshed, I guess is like a non-dramatic way to put it. I feel refreshed. But when that feeling fades, you're like, well, now I feel shitty and it's beautiful. So it's beautiful, and I should be rejoicing the fact that it is beautiful and it's hot and it's summer, and you're like, you feel like it's more natural to feel depressed on a winter's day than it is to feel on a summer's day, you know? Because then you go outside and you're like, oh, well, it's actually kind of nice. And you get a little bit cheered up, but then you can sense in your body this heavy sensation and this like kind of boiling, I don't know what it's called, like sadness locked away, repressed, kind of just boiling right here in your throat. And you're like, well, this isn't pleasant, even though everything around me is pleasant. And so your inner state does not match your outer state. And that's kind of like a, I don't know what to call that. It's kind of a disorienting experience. But I don't know. I'm just kind of, I felt the need to rant a little bit just because I'm so fed up with like these little minutia of trying to get this project closer to the finish line. I have the artwork for it. I have the vision has been complete for so long. I want to move on. There's also another project I have going right now, which is also music related. It's hip hop music. I make hip hop music. I have been making it for almost 10 years now. Actually, now that I think about it, 2017 was when I started like doing beats and stuff. Mm. And I like where that's going. I am very proud of the current project I have going, and I want to release hip hop music under a different name. I'll announce that when it's appropriate. But for some reason, I'm encountering this creative block in that direction as well. Like, even though the sound is good, there's something about you know when you that's how I work at the very least. When I go with this creative energy, there's like a creative momentum, or like, oh, this vision is cool. I want to do this, and then when you get it, it kind of clicks, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Great, this is great. And then I upload it to a cloud service, and I listen to it in my headphones when I'm like walking outside or when I'm going to work, and I get this confirmation that yes, this feels very, very sophisticated and close to what I want. This is cool. I want to release this. But then the releasing part and putting it out into the world as an established piece of art, a piece of music, that's where I get kind of caught up, and things become more difficult because then you have to polish it. Maybe I'm like a perfectionist in that regard, I suppose, because I'm used to consuming art from the artists that I love. They always have this level of polish that is difficult to achieve when you're working alone, because people usually work with producers, uh, writers, sometimes the co-writers. They have a mixing engineer, studio engineer, mastering engineer, that kind of thing. But I'm just doing all of it myself, and I'm doing the art myself, also the music videos and that kind of thing. And I want all that for the vision to come to fruition in the way that I want for the end product to be what I want. There needs to be a certain level of polish, and when the project is like 60% finished, like the music writing, when that's like 60% finished in the project, I have a hard time re-interacting with it without feeling like I'm fucking with it, or it's not like hard. It's hard to get into a flow state because I'm not even starting. I'm like, okay, well let's get going here. So this is a simulation of what happens when I try to interact with the project. I'm like, okay, let's get going here. Yep. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, sounds cool. And then we get to this part where it's not finished. Oh well, what do I have to do to implement? What am I gonna do? So I put like synthesizer here. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if that's gonna sound good, but I kind of want I kind of want someone else to feature on this song. But then I'm gonna have to show them the song. Okay, well that's too much. That's just sounds like too much work, and I fuck off, and I don't work on it. And all this is fine. I know it's part of like the process, and it's part of the process of being a creative individual, and it's okay because eventually it will come to fruition. But it's really hard not to feel frustrated about things not moving forward when you have it all depends on you yourself. Well, I suppose that's about all I have to say for today. That was 16 minutes of ranting. Me and Sonic are gonna try to collect our thoughts and not go crazy for the rest of the day before I have to go to work. Yeah, that's about it. Talk to you later.